Hello everybody. It's a pleasure having you here with us. It's great to see all of you supporting us, even though we did start a little bit late. I realized that that's something that we were not prepared for, but I would really like to show my gratitude towards you guys for joining the session with us today. So we've waited quite some time now. As new people keep joining, we can, close them as well. But right now, since all of you are already here, it's best that we begin. Thank you for your patience once again. So the agenda for today's session is database discovery. And we'll be diving deeper into how GEODI specializes with discovery of sensitive, sensitive recognizers in databases. I'll move on to the next slide right now and take you towards the agenda of the session. So there'll be 3 points that I'll be going deeper into. We'll begin with what discovery really entails, and then I'll be giving you information about the reports that we are providing, the discovery reports that GEODI is generating. And then lastly, I will brush upon our remediation techniques. So these are the 3 main topics for today's session. Before I go deeper into what we're providing with the discovery module, I would just like to give you a little bit of background as to who we are. So we are a Turkish software vendor company. The main product that I am basically telling you about today is our GEODI platform. GEODI is a platform with different modules, and one of those modules is our data discovery module. We've had great references in the past. We have multiple customers here in Turkey as well. We're very well recognized. Companies such as Vakıfbank, companies such as Carrefour, companies such as Koton are names that are quite, very well understood here in Turkey, and they've been working with us for quite some time. Talking about some international references that we have, then we have Teleperformance, we have TopNet, Iron Mountain, and the Gulf region who we've been working with. Now, coming to different types of databases that we're supporting for our discovery module, it is important to know that customers are going to have their data stored in various different databases, and they're looking for a solution that is compatible with all those databases, because you may have different data sources where it's quite likely that you will have sensitive data. So you need a solution that can go into all those areas and basically fetch out sensitive data that you have. A couple of databases that we are supporting include MySQL, SQL Server, we are supporting Oracle as well, and then lots more that you can see over here, and many more that you can visit on our website as well that we're supporting. We are supporting any ODBC and OLEDB databases as well. We're compatible with both. We use API for these integrations, and by default, there is no need to describe any schemes or select tables that you want to discover from the database that you want GEODI to conduct the discovery on. So this is the first thing that any customer is going to look into when they decide whether to proceed with purchasing a solution that can help them with database discovery. Rest assured, GEODI is going to provide you an all-rounded discovery. We support 200 plus adapters, and many databases fall under our discovery scope. Now I'll be talking about data size. Now, one of the most important and the most valuable things that a company has is their data. Data size is increasing on a daily basis. And the more data you have, the more at risk you are to basically having sensitive data in your data lake. So with GEODI, we are allowing you the ability to discover from those, for sure. But another feature that we are providing is that GEODI basically has a sampling mode. So this means that you will not waste any server time by discovering all rows. You can limit tables by defining simple rules. For instance, you can ask GEODI to discover from the first 500 rows and columns. You can create rules that basically give you the ability to limit the discovery module into focusing on a specific area of your database that you want to dive deeper into, that you want to get more information about. Because databases might have information where you are not holding any sensitive data. You would be aware that XYZ columns, XYZ rows are not going to have sensitive data. So you can basically omit known columns by defining these rules. You can make sure that GEODI is not wasting server time by scanning columns and rows where you are 100% sure you are not going to find sensitive data. This is a unique feature that GEODI is offering. Basically, the support that it is providing to you and how it can perform different tasks and be very compatible and modern is something that is very, very special about the GEODI platform. We are really providing technology that is basically turning stones at this point. GEODI has a master's degree in unstructured data. This is a sentence that I would really like to elaborate on. Why am I specifically talking about unstructured data over here as well? It is because there are very few vendors in the market that are providing such a well-rounded discovery for unstructured data as GEODI is. So whether you have data in your PDFs, whether you have OCR documents that you want to discover from, GEODI is going to help you find sensitive data in those areas as well. We are not going to miss any sensitive data such as credit card numbers, IBAN numbers, that is present on these types of data sources as well. This is something that is extremely beneficial when you are using the GEODI platform because the rate of false positives with our data discovery solution is very low. Moreover, very few vendors out there in the market are providing discovery for unstructured data. And the level at which we are basically performing is something that is to be noted. We have OCR and FacePro as well. So this means that if you have any scanned documents that you would like to discover data from, it is now possible with the GEODI platform. Moreover, if you have sensitive data that is mentioned in videos or pictures, that is also discoverable. Excuse me. Sorry for that. So these are the capabilities that GEODI's discovery module boasts. Just some of them. There are many more that really need to be talked about and shown in the future webinars that we'll be hosting you for as well. So reports now. The most valuable item that a customer has after discovery is performed, the complete report of discovery. So the first step is to find what sensitive data you are holding in your databases. The second step would be to report the data that you're holding in your databases. So content findings database reports tell us which table and column have sensitive data present in them. So for instance, if you are to comply with PCI DSS, you need to find where in your databases you're holding CVVs or credit card numbers. So what GEODI is going to do is that it is going to find them. It is going to tell you how many CVVs or credit card numbers you're holding, where you're holding those as well. So then you can basically print a report that GEODI is creating itself to share internally. And basically, this gives you a complete picture as to what type of data you are holding. And then you can decide what you want to do with that data. Because yes, finding data is all good. But then getting the real picture without putting in the effort, without having to create data analysis reports, GEODI is doing all that work for you. GEODI is creating the entire report for you. It is telling you exactly where it has found the sensitive data so that once you decide to take an action upon it, you have the complete knowledge as to where you're holding data that is non-compliant. So this is something that is very, very beneficial when you are using the GEODI's discovery module. Dashboards and panels also help you see the bigger picture. We have a variety of dashboards present on the GEODI platform that empower you to understand truly what type of data you are holding so that you can analyze what remediation techniques you can do with data that you're holding. And you can also see the correlation between the data that is present in your data lake with different dashboards that we have. Create user to the related departments to check the results from GEODI. So each department is basically going to have perhaps different requirements as to, for example, the HR department might be interested in seeing sensitive data that is related to personal names or skills that a user might have. And the internal audit department would be more interested in finding data that is non-compliant with legal regulations such as PCI DSS and so on. So both these departments can really make use of our discovery module, and secondly, they can really make use of the report that we are generating. Now I would like to move on to the next slide, which is the incremental discovery slide. So no data stays the same. That is something that we're all aware of. On a daily basis, we are creating new documents, we're coming across new types of data. So it's very likely that on a daily basis, we might be generating more sensitive data. So you can set GEODI to rediscover from your databases, from your data sources, to basically report what new sensitive data has been created. For instance, if I'm working at my job from 5 to 9, I can schedule GEODI to scan all my data sources to then report what new data, what new sensitive data has been generated in the time that I have worked. So on a daily basis, you can schedule an incremental scan. You can schedule a scan perhaps every hour or perhaps every month, every 3 months. That is completely up to your discretion. This is the ability and the freedom that GEODI is providing to its users. You can also set alarms to get notifications when non-compliant data is present in your data lake. So for instance, if I'm interested in knowing whenever a credit card number is being entered in my data lake, I can automatically set an alarm on the GEODI platform, which will notify me whenever a new credit card number is being entered in my data lake. So these are just some features that GEODI is offering to its users, which make it extremely user-friendly. And the best part is that not only is GEODI user-friendly, but it is also beginner-friendly. So it's very easy to use the GEODI platform to get a hang of it. That's something that is going to basically come naturally to you once you test the product and you see the platform for yourself. One of the last things that I'd like to talk about is our remediation techniques. Step one was to find and discover sensitive data that we had in our data lake. The next step now would be to remediate the data. So anything that is non-compliant, you are not allowed to hold it. And discovery is not going to be enough. You need remediation techniques such as data masking or data anonymization that can help you secure yourselves. This will make sure that you are complying to PCI DSS, for instance. So say that I have found sensitive data which is non-compliant to PCI DSS. I have found CVVs, I have found credit card numbers. Now, GEODI is going to empower me to remediate all the non-conforming data. I can bulk mask all the data that is non-compliant with any legal regulation that I'm to follow. You can delete all the non-compliant data, you can mask it, you can anonymize it. So you can do this on databases as well, which is something that is very, very powerful. Data anonymization is something that we're offering, which is a groundbreaking technology. So now you can anonymize data on your databases. This way, you will not be holding any sensitive data, but at the same time, you will be able to understand what was present in the place of what has now been anonymized. So for instance, if I'm reading a column or a row and I see an anonymized credit card number written over there, I will easily be able to understand the context of the things around it or the context of the value that has now been anonymized. This is something that is a big competitive advantage that we boast. It's something very new. This technology is going to change remediation techniques and the world as we see it now. And we are so very, very happy and proud of this new technology and this new advancement that has been introduced by GEODI to the market and on its platform as well. So that was the end of our presentation. I thank you all for joining us today. I would like to open the floor for questions now. And if you have any comments, please do let me know as well. Do use the Q&A session to share your comments with us. Yeah, Archana, I saw your message for the echo. Is it any better? Or is anybody else facing the same issue as well? Okay. So data discovered is shifted into a particular directory. Also, it remains where it is found. In this case, will the same data occupy double space? All right. So when we are reporting the discovery, we are telling you where your sensitive data is present. At the moment, while reporting your discovery, we are not creating a copy of it. We are just giving you information as to where your sensitive data exists. So in that case, no double space is going to be created, no double copy is going to be created. All right, let's wait a little bit more and see if we have more questions. Sorry for that, please excuse me. Does it identify duplicate files? Yes. Thank you so much, Rajiv, for mentioning that as well. GEODI has a semantic data discovery feature. So this means that we can identify duplicate documents as well. Not only that, we go one step further, and we can also identify what is the percentage of similarity that a couple of documents have between one another. So we are reporting the duplicates, and we are also telling you the percentage of similarity between documents. This is a very, I would say, a feature that goes one step ahead than what a lot of people are even assuming or expecting from a solution such as ours. Thank you, Raji, for the question. Okay. The next question that we have is, thank you, Sarat. What will be the resource utilization when GEODI discovery will be running? All right. So if you're talking about how hard it's going to be on CPU utilization, then it's going to be close to a minimum, actually. In a lot of cases, we are using agentless discovery, we are using API integration, and for endpoints, we are using agents for discovery. The size of the agent is very minimal, so this is, in fact, a big plus point that customers usually praise when they're using our discovery solution as well as our classification solution. Okay, next question. In case data is in a data center or in DR, does it search it from our on-prem DECE solution? Okay, so yes, Rajiv correctly mentioned DECE is an on-premise solution. And in case data is in data center or in DR, does it search it from our on-prem? So anything that is integrated with GEODI, we can discover from it. That's not an issue. GEODI is not storing any data itself. GEODI is not does not work like Google Drive, for instance. So whatever places you are storing your data in, and GEODI is, you have allowed GEODI to, or you want GEODI rather, to report what sensitive data is present in that data source, GEODI is going to do that. And other than that, if there's something that is if you're mentioning that you would like to store on the GEODI platform, that is not possible actually. Okay. Does DECE discover data from NAS or backup storage devices? From backup storage devices, yes, it depends on what data sources you want to include in your project actually. So while creating a project, you are going to select the databases that you want to include or that you want GEODI to conduct the discovery upon. So that depends on your decisions as well. Does it support all database platforms to scan and gather the information? I mean, as of right now, we are supporting 200 plus adapters. We, as I mentioned earlier as well, I would just like to go back to my slide and show you. All right. So if your database has any ODBC, OLEDB, we can support it. Here are a couple of names of the databases that we are supporting. We are supporting some others such as MongoDB as well. But if you have any specifics, any different databases in mind, do let me know what database names and what databases you are specifically referring to, and then I'll definitely get back to you. But as of right now, that would be my answer, that yes, any ODBC and OLEDB is compatible with the GEODI platform. Okay, let's see. Okay, the next question is, in continuity to Rajiv's question, is there a requirement of another license to include the site? No, discovery is going to be enough. So if you have the discovery license, we are going to be able to discover from any different data sources that you have, not just limited to databases, but also endpoints. And say if you have data on your file servers, SharePoints, share folders, if you have OCR documents, or if you have emails that you want to discover from any cloud storage spaces, your CRMs, your ERPs, that is also going to be possible. Okay, DECE supports Indian compliance like DPDPA. We have Aadhaar card. Yes. Rajiv, to respond to your question, we are now supporting DPDPA as well. We have Indian recognizers in place. So we have Aadhaar card, we have PAN card, and we have Indian telephone numbers, I believe. So DPDPA is definitely catered by the GEODI solution. Some other questions? I received a question. Just give me a second. Okay, I believe we will see it now. Pricing is based on data size or number of users. All right, so for discovery, we are considering data size as well as the number of users. A discovery is something that is can not only be limited to number of end users. I understand, Rajiv, your query, because for classification, it is based on the number of end users at times, yes. For discovery, we will take both things into consideration and then come back to you with a price. Can there be a demo on DPDPA compliance? For sure, Joseph. We can schedule a demo with you. I'll get back to you right after this webinar, and we can go over the DPDPA session. Maybe we can also have a webinar for DPDPA in specific, because we've been coming across that for quite some time. It's wonderful to have queries from India, and I'm excited to share our DPDPA project with you guys. Okay, let's just wait a couple of minutes more to see if we have any more questions. Okay, how much data can you discover in a day? Okay, so roughly, let's say on a single server, we can have 1 terabyte of incremental scanning. And if you're talking about, multiple servers, then of course the number increases. What type of data can you discover? So we can discover sensitive data, whether it is with, let's say, for PCI DSS. So if you want to find credit card numbers, CVVs, PINs, passwords, we can discover that. If you want to comply with DPDPA, we can help you find Aadhaar card, PAN card. If you want to comply with SAMA, PDPL, if you want to comply with GDPR, or if you want to find, for instance, if you want to comply with HIPAA, so any regulation that you have to comply with, let us know, and we will most definitely have recognizers set in place for it. So that is the essence of discovery, to help you comply with whatever regulation is prevalent in your country, in your city, and so on. When can we schedule a discovery scan? All right, so a discovery scan can be scheduled, sorry for that, based on your, I would say, the way you would want to work. So for instance, if I am working in an organization that starts work at 9 in the morning and ends at 5, then I can schedule an automatic scan for any time after 5. It could be 6, it could be 10, it could be 12. Or if you want, you can schedule a scan on a weekly basis as well. So every Saturday, you can ask GEODI to scan the new data that has been created. So it's totally dependent upon the way you like to see it. Does our platform have data wiping too? From data wiping, I understand, I'm not sure if I understood it correctly. Rajiv, do let me know if the logic behind your question is something that I have understood. Do you mean that GEODI wipes data that is initially not supposed to be there in the beginning? If so, then no. We are offering data masking. So we are not going to tell you what type of data you can or cannot hold. But if you are holding sensitive data, if you're holding non-compliant data, then we can help you remediate it. We can help you delete it, mask it, anonymize it, but you will have to give the command to do so. Okay, can we enable data classification on mobile devices or iPad? Unfortunately, that technology has not yet been discovered. We cannot use data classification on mobile devices or iPad. Part of the reason as to why, that's something that nobody else is also providing in the market right now is perhaps because not everybody in an organization is using mobile phones or has their emails on mobile phones, etc. So this is something that not only us, but no other vendor in the market is specializing in either. What is agent deployment size in PC? So I cannot give you the exact agent size, but I can perhaps give you a bracket. So 54 to 50 to 100 MBs perhaps is the agent size. A single agent is being used for endpoints, and yep, that's the information that I can share with you about that. Thank you so much for your questions, everybody. It's wonderful coming across all your questions and being given the opportunity to respond to them. Let's wait a couple of minutes more. Okay, can we automatically classify files as soon as they are created, moved, downloaded, or modified? For sure, Archana. Anything that you are creating before saving it, before printing it, before sending it via email, GEODI is going to ask you to classify it. You cannot save a document, cannot create a document without classifying it. A pop-up will appear, and it's first going to ask you to either manually select a classification level or automatically let GEODI classify the document. So that is something that is, where we intervene, make sure that nothing goes unclassified. So anything data on the go is always classified when the classification solution is present in your endpoint. Okay, another question. If the sensitive data found on endpoint, then can we encrypt the data? Definitely, Vishal. So if you have sensitive data that has been found, it has been discovered, then you will see 4 options of remediation techniques. You can delete it, mask it, anonymize it, encrypt it, or quarantine it. So whatever has been discovered, any sensitive data that has been discovered, you can take any of these 4 actions upon that. Okay, let's see if we have any other questions. None as of yet. I'll just wait a couple of more minutes. And if there's anything else that you would like to share with me, any comments that you have, do let me know. I'm here for you. And once again, I thank all of you for joining the session. It's always a pleasure hosting you. We are really trying to, engage with all of you because we care about our DECE family over here. We try our best to come up with solutions for laws such as DPDPA, PDPL, SAMA, CMO, and so on. If there's anything else that you have on your mind, do let me know. Thank you so much, Sarah, for your kind words. When you encrypt data, that means there may be an encryption key. Hence, do we have key management solution? Excuse me for that. Key management solution included in this. Yes, Rajiv. So the answer to that question would be that what we do with encryption is that we are creating scripts. Then we zip them, and a super user is basically going to have the ability to create a 4-digit passcode. So now whoever has access to that 4-digit passcode is only going to be able to see encrypted data. And a super user will have the ability to create that passcode or the key in that instance. I'm so sorry, guys. Okay. All right, I believe another one. Thank you so much, Joseph. It means a lot. Archana, who are the competitors worldwide? Basically, we are not competing with one solution in specific, because there are different solutions that are providing data classification. There are different solutions that are providing data discovery. What we do is perhaps our USP, the biggest competitive advantage and our brand image is the fact that we are an all-inclusive solution. I would just like to go to the first slide to shed more light upon that. All right. So if you see, we have the search module, we have the discovery module, we have the classification module, the masking module, and the action module. So GEODI is providing an all-inclusive data protection solution. We begin with the very first step and support you to the very last step. Other solutions are solutions that are solely focusing on classification, solutions that are solely focusing on discovery. But with GEODI, you do not have to indulge with 2 or 3 different vendors for those needs. So while talking about the complete package that we're providing, there is nobody else like us. But Archana, I'm aware that you have quite some knowledge about the classification market as well and the discovery market. So maybe we could get on a quick call and I can run you through our different competitive advantage with regards to different competitors that we have and go over them in specific with you as well. But as mentioned over here, for everybody also to take notice, GEODI is an all-inclusive solution. So that is something that you should always keep in mind while hearing the word GEODI. Okay, then we have Thank you so much, Rajiv. It's great reading this from your side. Thank you so much, Nikhil. It's also wonderful having you here with us. Okay. Thank you so much, Archana. And it's great to basically see all of your comments. It's a good way of motivating myself as well. And yeah, growing. So thank you all for joining the session today. It's been an honor hosting you over here, and I cannot wait to host you another time. Have a wonderful day ahead, and if you had any queries, feel free to reach out to me via email. Many of you also have my number, so please do let me know if you have any questions, any doubts in your mind, any requirements. I'm open to, answering them and helping you all the way. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful day, guys. I will close the session now, and if there's anything else you need to say, now would be the time. I'll wait one more minute, and then we may close the session. Thank you.